Hello, hello. A few things we got to improve on from last week, starting with really the coordinator to head coach communication. Just letting them know what the play call is going to be ahead of time. I think that would help. So, but no, that's awesome. He's the best. He's the best. All right, go ahead.
What about the run game in particular? You guys were so steady at that. And you look at the statistics throughout the season, and they bear that over 4 a carry, the explosive plays, the total yardage. But I think in 4 of the last 6, Ben, you guys have averaged less than 4 yards per carry. Seems like it hasn't been as consistent. When you look at their defense, it's pretty tough going, but when teams have had success, they've been able to run the ball a little bit. Just how important is that for you guys to get back to be a little more consistent running the football?
Yeah, we take a ton of pride in it. Our game plan always starts with the run game. And so, sure, it's been disappointing. I know the numbers haven't been there. Early in the season, we were getting some of those 50-yard runs that kind of, I do think, skewed the average just a little bit. But overall, we were probably a little bit more efficient. Last game, and I think Coach alluded to it, that's probably the least efficient runs we've had as a whole when you look at the percentages. So something we're conscious of. I think last few weeks, it's a number of things when you look at the few games. Offensive line, it might just be aiming points or angles. Targeting is always a big thing. Receivers at times, just making sure they're taking care of their forced responsibilities, and then making sure our running backs are seeing the holes properly. You know, we have each play's got an intent to it, and the more we meet together and we're all aligned, I think the vision comes together. So, end of the day, we've been able to move the ball and score points on offense. So, it's certainly an area for us to improve, though. Yeah.
How many plays you got from Panay in the playbook?
Yeah, I figured you guys are probably just asking. We've seen him do pat and go for 5 weeks now. What took you so long, right? What took you so long to throw him the ball? But no, it's a heck of a job by him coming through and then having the wherewithal to secure it and stay in bounds. You know, it's a testament. You know, he's not a rookie. He's a second-year player, and we got a lot of trust and confidence in him.
It's got to be pretty daunting for the defense too when you see a big 330-pounder come running at you like that.
Yeah,
and that's part of it.
Yeah. It was it's really well executed by our guys. So proud of them.
Dan, this week, I was just wondering philosophically, how do you balance when you're preparing to face a really good defense like the Jets, just the balance of what they're willing to give you versus maybe trying to impose your will with what you think your strengths are? What is the balance there as a coordinator?
Yeah, I mean, we have plays and we have concepts that we feel like are our backbone, and regardless of the opponent, we want to make sure that we have them up and we make them work and they're good and efficient for us. And when push come to shove, we're able to move the ball with those. But I think every week we have a nice balance between game plan plays that are a little bit unique to the style of defense that we're facing, and then leaning on those concepts that we're good at and we can do in our sleep. So this week is no different than any other. It's just the challenge is, I mean, we can talk a little bit more about them. They're very unique with that 4 down, wide 9, and getting off the football in such a way that if you don't practice against it on a consistent basis, they can shock you. They can shock you early in a game just with their get off. So we got a big task at hand the next couple days trying to replicate that in practice.
What have you thought of Sauce and just the way he plays? I know he plays mainly on the left side, right? He doesn't move very often, but just being able to shut down kind of that side of the field as a rookie seems pretty rare.
Yeah, I feel like it's kind of evolved for those skill positions, both corners and receivers, where it used to be it takes them a year or two to you see the production that you'd like to see out of college, and then from their college tape. But as of late, I feel like both those positions, corners and receivers, can make more of an immediate impact. Last year felt that way with Surtain when we were playing Denver, and I would see Sauce Gardner in that same light. He's very talented. He's long, he's fast, sticky in coverage, and to me, what's most impressive, not just of him, but with all their secondary players, is their willingness to tackle. They like to come down and get dirty. So our wideouts have a big challenge ahead of them.
We've seen in the past with guys like that, and more recently with him, that teams just avoid even throwing at him. What is the risk of allowing, I guess, a defense to take away half the field?
Yeah, that's a good question. I don't know that they probably use them in that light where it's, hey, you just shut down one side and we'll devote all our resources to the other side. I probably haven't seen that. Maybe they're evolving that way, but they certainly have a lot of confidence in him going up and pressing and executing his job without help. Yeah, I don't think there's any question about that. So we got to be smart in how we attack them, both sides of the field, you know. But we feel like we're having a good plan come together right now.
You guys have had a lot of success, obviously, on fourth down as an offense, but I guess almost an extension of that. How impressed and, I guess, confident are you in that special teams unit in that same way? We saw it again, Minnesota, the fake punt.
Yeah, as Coach Cam, I had no idea it was even coming, you know. So, you know, it's a oh, shoot. It's a testament to Coach Phipp, though, and Coach Campbell. I mean, it's, you know, they dial it up at the right time, and their preparation, their detail, the players being able to execute it, it's top notch. I think Phipp's had a number of those over the last year and a half that have come through for us. So offensively helps us immensely, not just with field position, what they're able to do right there, but swinging the momentum back in our favor. I think that was coming right after a 3-and-out to start the second half too. So I think that really got us going on the right foot there for the rest of the game.
You really not know that? You really didn't know that was coming?
Honestly, I had no idea. I had no idea. I was going over the iPad. I was looking at I was going, starting to go through the pictures, and then I just heard the crowd cheer. So just got to, just react and back on it. So
how much do you and Dave pick each other's brains about when it comes to creativity and design and some of those things?
But more in the off season, you know, when the bullets are flying right now in the season, don't have much time to get out of my office to visit and socialize.
Khalif Raymond, you got a lot of productive receivers. You know, guys have done some good things, but Khalif keeps coming with big catches on third down for you too. Maybe just worried about how important he is.
Shoot, yeah. And I think I brought his name up last week too, talking about the Jacksonville game. He had 2 catches in that game, and both of them were huge, and probably went largely unnoticed by most people because they weren't down the field or anything like that. But keeps us on schedule. Have a lot of confidence in his hands. Obviously, he's got really good speed, which I think right now we've got some guys, or some perimeter guys that can run, and I think that's what you're seeing is helping open up our pass game just a little bit more, not just vertically, but the underneath stuff is going to be there because teams are starting to respect our guy, J-Mo, Chark, you know, all these guys that can go down the field a little bit.
Speaking of that, how nice was it to have a one-play scoring drive last week?
Speak it into existence, right? We will run the ball well this week. How about that? Let's get that sucker going. So,
like having that big play back, not that it was ever completely gone, is that something you feel you're maybe hitting your stride with the passing game in particular?
Yeah, I you know, earlier this year I think we took some shots and maybe didn't connect. So to see some of those attempts, 10+ yards, connect on, you know, I think that's it's awesome for us as an offense, but also I think it's kind of shows our growth, our chemistry, you know, developing. We've had a lot of time on task now from training camp all the way to this point, so I think these guys are starting to reap those rewards to a degree.
Just having all those guys healthy, defenses knowing what they can do, and just having a hard time figuring out where the ball's going, opening up some of those opportunities.
Yeah, and we try to your point, mix it up as much as we can, get all of our guys involved. Each game plan, you know, you never know exactly where the ball's going to go, but try to get guys to do what they do best. And if the defense, you know, gives it to us, we'll take it. So certainly I do think it makes us more dangerous that they can't key on just one specific skill guy right now.
It takes a lot of confidence to play quarterback in this league, but it does seem like Jared's confidence is kind of brimming over the rim right now. Like, how much is that playing into right now his on-field success? Just his confidence and comfort within the system and what you guys are dialing.
Yeah, I think it's the same thing now. Our relationship has grown as the season has gone along. We meet every day after the game. We watch the game together. We go back and forth, how I see it, how he sees it. So we're very much aligned. We're as much aligned now as we've been all season. So I think that helps him play and do his job, where, okay, you're calling this here. Here's where I can be more aggressive. Here's where I just need to find a completion. I mean, shoot, he's done a number of times the past few games where I get a little bit too aggressive and the play isn't there down the field, and he'll just burn it at a receiver's feet, and save the play that way. Not take a sack, not force something. And so he's doing a really good job with that, and it allows me as a play caller to shoot almost anything on the call sheet, because I'm not worried about a negative play happening, because I trust that he's going to be able to do something positive with it for the most part. Yeah, and that's the biggest thing with him right now. He's playing confident football. He's taking care of the football, and he's doing a nice job working within the pocket. So we're seeing some good production.